The off-screening needs to stop. I'm like so serious about this. Like we just had like another major character just get off-screened again, and like why are we doing this? Like the first time, it was a big square. Like oh my god, it was surprising when you saw Gojo in half did off-screen. That sucked, but it was like a cool surprise. But doing it twice now, we can't do that. I think that's just kind of bogus at this point. You know, like let me at least see this guy die. You know what I mean? So obviously this is spoilers for chapter 237 and 238. I think you guys probably know who I'm talking about at this point. It's Kashimo. Man got off-screened on 238. I didn't like that at all, so I'm just gonna give my quick summary of the two chapters, then go into like my thoughts and my feelings. So 237 started off with Kashimo hopping to the battlefield, about to fight Sukuna. Then Sukuna's right-hand man, Urahime, comes in with like this giant iceberg about to fall on him. But Akari comes in, hits Urahime with his domain expansion, traps him, but the iceberg is still falling though. But Sukuna blocks that, gets like his cursed tool from I think Yurzo. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'll put it on the screen just so you guys know what I'm talking about. Her name. Yeah, but she made his cursed tool for him and he uses that against Kashimo. But the cursed tool doesn't work because apparently it just makes lightning, and Kashimo's technique is like deals with electricity. So it didn't work at all. So now Kashimo asks Sukuna about what strength is and like if being strong is solitude, or does like finding or you seeking more strength lead you to being lonely? Like that's his question. And Sukuna's like, hey, listen, he's like dealing with the same question with Gojo too. Like he had to deal with that, like same ideology fighting with Gojo. He's going to teach Kashimo the same lesson he said, something along those lines. So they ended up fighting. You know, like Kashimo was throwing hands for a little bit. Then he used like his curse technique that he was saving to fight Sukuna. It's like Amber Beast, I think it's called. And the way that works, I kind of like it. Like he used like any form of electricity, he could like use to like his full advantage. So like electrical magnetic waves, the electrical signals in his brain, like all that cool stuff he could control when it comes to electricity. So at that point, he was actually like beating up on Sukuna. Like he was throwing hands, beating that man down. It was dope. I liked it. But then Sukuna, the narrator says that Sukuna has two ways to reach his full form or fix his whole body: reverse technique, or something that he was saving for the whole time until like right now. And so he used that second version that he was saving for this entire time, which is like an incarnation technique. Then Sukuna gets his whole body back, and that's in chapter 237. That's kind of nifty. I liked it. Kashimo still enhanced his chapter for like maybe 3 panels, but you know, he was still doing decent. Then we go on to 238, and that's when we get issues. So 238 starts off, or just starts, and it explains like how having 4 hands and 2 mouths is a good thing for a sorcerer. So that leads you to like do more incantations. Then like you got also his mouth is on his stomach too, and that takes less stress off your lungs and heart when it comes to doing your incantations. And your hand signs too, having extra hands, it's just useful. Like for a sorcerer, having multiple body parts is very useful. So Kashimo sees this and he's like, oh, this is amazing. He's excited. They start throwing hands. It's pretty one-sided, like Sukuna's practically like banging this guy off. Then Kashimo throws like this lightning technique. Then Sukuna does like an incantation. And then he slices the technique through and also hits Kashimo. And then we learn that that's the technique Sukuna used to defeat Gojo. So I think it's kind of cool. Like we finally got to see this technique in full view, like it's full power, like it actually cuts to earth. It's just a very damaging technique. So I thought that was neat. So then, you know, Sukuna makes this comment how when it comes to strength and love, they should have fought Yurzo. That's the girl who took over Megami's sister's body, that curse, and Sukuna killed earlier. And he said like fighting her, y'all would have found out what it meant better instead of finding someone like him. So after that comment, you know, Kashimo and Sukuna end up fighting some more, but then at this point, it's just like it's just a beatdown. Like Sukuna's beating up on Kashimo. Like there's like no winning at this point. Like this man's like, there's no openings. There's no way for him to like actually win. He like tries all this one last dish technique, but then Sukuna just throws like this whole blade or like grid of dismantles, and then like it cuts to Kashimo in heaven. So that was him getting all strained. I was like, bro, what? Then we have Sukuna and Kashimo talking like in the afterlife how like Sukuna did with was it Jogo too? So I don't know if this like, just like a social thing, like you could talk to people when they're dead, or something like that. I don't know, but I think it's very interesting. So yeah, he was telling him how like people were always trying to fight Kashimo back in that period because they want to be recognized by Kashimo, and them trying to be recognized by him is love, and then being the strongest will have people come loving you. But then Sakuna says also he doesn't need to love anyone else because he thinks that's worthless. He lives just for himself. So he does things that makes him happy. Whether that be, he eats when he wants to eat, he fights when he wants to fight, kills when he wants to kill. He does everything for himself. So why does he need to love someone else? Like people can love him, but he thinks love itself is worthless. He doesn't need that. So out of that little explanation, which I think is pretty nice, I think it's just more character stuff we're learning about Sakuna. And also, I'm pretty sure I talked about this last video. I was just getting this whole idea of what love is and what strength is, trying to like find the meaning, like how to be strong in this universe, and hopefully, well, let me continue on the chapter before my quick rant. So when that's over, we then cut to Sukuna saying like how he enjoys fighting humans because like this is like a good time for him because like all humans have different flavors when it comes to entertainment, and right now we're just going to keep on doing this till like he dies, just fighting strong people or new people just to get that excitement. Then it cuts to Yuji, and I think it's Higurama, the judge dude or whatever. It cuts to them, and now Sukuna's gonna see like what can you do now? And the cuts, and that's in the chapter. So like I was saying before, whatever, I like this whole idea of figuring out what love is and what strength is, and like find like that happy medium. I mean, Sukuna just focuses on pure strength, and like he just disregards love at all. Like I think he understands the concept, but doesn't need it. So now we're gonna cut to Yuji now. This fight, he also has like these new arms too that we don't know about. It's gonna probably explain this week, I think. But now we're gonna cut to Yuji and see like how does Yuji fall when it comes to like figuring out what strength is and like what he needs to do. Like will Yuji go down like the Sukuna path and just disregard it and totally, or will Yuji like find like his own medium of love and then also what's what I'm looking for? Is it solitude, love and strength, and doing that to like find like a good balance. But also, this is just me ranting now. I think the point is like Yuji can't be strong by himself, so he needs help. And so like him being Sukuna, the only way he can be Sukuna is him being up on him with someone else. Like he can't do it by yourself. Like he's not strong enough, so he needs someone else for help. Which I think will be an interesting idea, but we'll see. Actually, theory time. What I think might happen is Yuji is gonna go down the route of solitude strength and be like very strong, but he's gonna realize like he doesn't want that. Ugh, did I burp? I did burp. That was gross. But yeah, he's gonna realize like he doesn't want that idea of strength. He's gonna like disregard some of that strength to instead have someone help him instead to get stronger. That's what I think might happen. It might be like a whole, let me get strong by myself. I don't like the way this feels. I don't like the path I'm going down. Let me get assistance from my friends and win that way. That's what I think might happen. It probably will happen. We'll see though next week. So yeah, that's my thoughts on 237, 238. Fun chapters. Again, I don't like this off-screening shenanigans. I think it needs to stop. Again, the first time was cool. The second time, I wouldn't say lazy, just like, let's just see people die. Let me see the dismantle. Let me just see this man get cut up. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it for this double review. And I'll catch you guys next time.